Alright, guys, welcome back to the Dragon Guy Follow-Ups. It's always a surprise to me when I have to make another one of these, as DOA5 is already, a 5-year-old fighting game? And we're still able to find new cool tech and knowledge related to the game. So it's truly a statement to how truly deep and intricate this game is, and the mechanics, like how intricate the mechanics are. But today things are gonna be a little bit different, a lot more complicated, and this is going to be knowledge that will probably honestly apply to DOA6 and probably any DOA game going forward. So the first thing that we're going to talk about here, and as a little bit of a disclaimer for this piece of tech, is that it's going to revolve around frames a lot, and specifically very advanced knowledge of frames. So if you're not familiar with frames in fighting games, there's a lot of resources online for you to get a better understanding. But specifically to this video, we're going to talk a lot about active frames. And for a small explanation as to what active frames are, they're basically how long a move stays out, meaning how long a move's hurt box stays active, hence the name. So we got Jann Lee's 9P here, and as you can see right there in the frames for the move, on the little parenthesis there, it says it has 3 active frames. In order from left to right, the type of frames that are in the move are the startup frames, the active frames, and the recovery frames. So specifically for this video, we're going to put a heavy emphasis on the active frames. So 9P has 3 active frames, right? Now, the term of Meaties. Meaties are usually attributed to 2D games rather than 3D games. And basically what a meaty is a setup on an opponent's wake up that looks to put either a normal or a special on the opponent's last frame of invincibility, so that they have to deal with the move and it's uninterruptible unless they have a move with invincibility. But because the wake up game in 3D fighters is much more complicated and much more different, meaties are not really a possibility in 3D fighters. However, skip forward to about a few weeks ago. Now, someone that you guys may be familiar with from some of my other videos and my overall shenanigans, X2009. Now, X put out a video on his YouTube channel a few weeks ago, basically asking for an answer related to a specific setup for Akira that involved him making a move that was originally negative on block plus.
What's going on, everyone? This is X, and today I have a question for you guys. As you can see what the title says, Akira is getting a extra +2 advantage by doing 4-3P. So 4-3P on block is -1, but when I do it after a force tech, the force tech that I'm doing is 2-1-4P. Show you guys here. I'm getting a +1.
Basically, by using a force tech, he was making the move in question hit at a later active frame, at its latest active frame actually. So because of that, it altered the frame data on the move. So then it hit me, an epiphany. If he's abusing the amount of invincibility frames the opponent has on wake up, is that technically not a meaty? Meaties in DOA? What the fuck? By utilizing frame manipulation, basically frame manipulation is making a move purposely hit at a later active frame so that its frame changes, its frames on block and hit change. You can make 9P, which is usually -1 on block, neutral, or even +1. So that's frame manipulation, right? But what we're trying to do here is basically alter the frames. in a different type of way. So 9p is -1 regularly, right? So look at what happens now. Boom, +1 right there, point blank. Now here's where things get really crazy, so pay attention here. So what's happening here is that I'm hitting the opponent on the last active frame of 9p, effectively changing the frame data of the move. And that's by abusing the invincibility frames the opponent has on wake up and hitting them on the first very possible frame that they can actually be hit. So force decks give you a specific amount of advantage, right? In this example, 1p from Jann Lee is a natural force deck, right? This is very important. You need to have concise, real force decks that give you advantage, right? That's a single hit. So in this situation, Jann Lee's 1p gives you 16 frames. Now here's where we need to do some basic math. That's 16 frames. So at this point there's going to be a range for what speed the move has to be for the setup to work effectively. So basically you want to look at the amount of advantage that you have. Now moves that are 2 frames faster than the amount of advantage that you have will work with the setup, meaning that they will hit at their latest possible active frame, right? So in this scenario I have +16, meaning that all my moves that are 14 frames will hit at their latest active frame, regardless if it's 2 or 3 or 4. So similarly, 15 frame moves also work, however they don't get as many active frames reduced, and moves that are 16 frames exactly the amount of advantage that you have do not work. So basically the rule of thumb here, the thing that you're going to be looking for is look at the amount of advantage that you have and then find moves in your character that are 2 frames faster than the amount of advantage you just got. So like I stated before, 9p has 3 active frames. If it hits in the first possible active frame, it becomes -1. However, since the setup makes it hit on the 3rd active frame, it becomes +1. It gains 2 frames of recovery. Well, it reduces 2 frames of recovery actually. And this can lead to massive changes in the properties of your character's moves. Moves that were previously unsafe can become safe. Stuff that was minus or neutral can become plus. This also of course applies to moves on hit, so you can get more advantage on moves that stun using this, as well as changing the properties on block. So I already showed you I can make 9p +1, right? But the craziness doesn't stop there. Like I said, if you really look at your character's moveset, you can find some pretty interesting stuff. I've already found stuff not only for Jann Lee but other characters as well. But specifically for this character, like, I can get that +1, I can get more advantage from my stuns, I can make my 2p neutral. Can you believe that shit? Jann Lee players have always had to deal with a -1 2p, and by using this setup, I can actually make it neutral. That's fucking crazy, dude. I don't even remember the last game Jann Lee's 2p was neutral. And that's what makes the setup basically superior to your standard type of frame manipulation, which is using distance, right? Like in this example right here, I can make my 7p +2 from its original +1. Normally you can't do this. You can space this move correctly so that it just gives you a +2. That's not possible. But by using this setup, and by abusing the invincibility frames of the opponent's wake up, you can't do so. You can utilize every active frame on your moves, and that's what makes this setup so strong. And that's what Jann Lee, whose wall game is already stupid, so I can't even begin to imagine what other people can come up with using this setup. And like I said, this is going directly into the general mechanics of the game. It's not character specific, it's not stage specific. You just need a wall, and not even that. Like, some characters will probably be able to use this on like in the middle of the stage, an open ground. So that's basically going to be it, guys. Hopefully you found this useful. I know I certainly did. Let me know what you find with your characters, if you find any more stuff, and yeah, this probably will become part of the meta if it catches on, but I just know people are going to find some ridiculous setups with their characters, and I can't wait to see it. So thank you guys as always for watching. It's always appreciated. Let me know how it goes, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.